Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I'm going to discuss the top 5 apps you need when coming to visit or live in the country of South Korea. If you're interested in my channel, I do travel content, dating abroad content, so go ahead, leave a comment down below and subscribe to the channel if you're interested in this kind of material. So I'm going to get right into the video, and I'm going to have 5 apps that you should download immediately. You can download them on the Apple or Google Play Store. Coming in at number 1 is the app Aerolo. What does the app Aerolo do? Essentially, it gives your phone mobile data while you're on your vacation or trip to allow you to get mobile data anywhere in the country of South Korea. You essentially just scroll through the app, find your region or country that you're traveling to, and then go ahead and get maybe 3-5 gigabytes of data. It's not that expensive. You can get it for a couple weeks for your trip or for your long-term stay. None of the other apps are going to work unless you have some app that allows you to use mobile data, and I've personally tested the South Korea region that they have available on the app, and the data is very good. It's very reliable. It's high speed, it works quite well, and I think it's worth every dime that you spend. So go ahead, download the Aerolo app, get a mobile data package. You can set it up on your phone. There's some instructions there. As long as your phone takes some sort of an eSIM, you should be able to use the app on your phone, set it up, and then when you touch down, all you have to do is activate it, and now you have mobile data in the country. You can utilize all your other apps. You can talk on other messaging apps and things like that. You just won't have cell phone service through Aerolo. So go ahead, go to your Google Play or Apple Play Store and download that app, set it up so you have mobile data right when you hit the ground running in this country of South Korea. The second most important app to have when visiting South Korea is the app called Papago. What is Papago? It's essentially their version of Google Translate, and it's very, very helpful when you're trying to speak simple phrases or get a message across or record something with your voice and then play it for someone. There isn't a lot of English speaking in the country of South Korea. Most people can read it and write the language. A lot of signs are also in English, especially in Seoul and the tourist areas. But in terms of people actually really speaking it conversely, there's just not a lot of English speakers in the country, so they don't have a lot of experience with it. So having an app like that that properly translates the language will really help out. Yes, you can use Google Translate, but the Korean translations are just not nearly as good as the app like Papago, which is owned by the company Naver, which essentially is the Google of South Korea. So I would download that version. And then as a little addendum to this app, I would actually download Google Play Google Translate just for one specific reason. They have a camera translation app, which is really, really helpful if you're trying to translate some text that's written. You just activate the camera mode, click it, put it up to the object, and it'll translate it for you, whether it's a sign, a menu, or anything else. I think that's one helpful feature in the Google Translate app. But if you're doing anything else in the country of South Korea regarding translation or trying to speak a phrase, Papago is the way to go to actually translate it. It'll actually give you the correct translations, where Google Translate sometimes comes up painfully short. So go ahead and download those apps there. Those are really going to be helpful on your language learning journey. I would try and learn some of the simple phrases before coming here, just the hello, goodbye, 안녕하세요, 감사합니다. Learn some of the very basic phrases. I think it shows a lot of respect to the culture, and overall just helps your immersive experience when visiting this country. Now, the third app I would suggest downloading here is Naver Map. Just like Naver is the Google of South Korea and there's Google Map, you're going to want to download Naver Map here because it's actually going to give you accurate street locations, restaurants, and all other information that you have here. Google Maps is not very good. It's not very accurate here. A lot of information is outdated. The station locations are not that great. The times for how you're going to get to one station to another are not great. How long it'll take to drive from one place or walk is not very good. You're going to want to use Naver for all of your time, destination, locations, restaurants. It's more up to date. It is just purely better. So early on, I ditched Google Maps and I started using Naver Map, and I recommend as soon as you hit the ground, don't use Google Maps unless there's a specific translation that you're struggling with, and download Naver Map and use that instead. You're going to thank me later. It's going to be way better at finding your locations and your roads and your stations if you're going to be taking the subway and the metro, which if you're going to be in Seoul or any of the other big cities, I think that's an absolute must unless you're renting a car, which is a total pain here because the traffic is insanely bad. So go ahead, download Naver Map. So you got your Naver Map, Papago, all set up so you have your Google-like apps ready to go in South Korea. And the fourth most important app to download here is Kaka Metro. And Kaka Metro is essentially a very simple app that tells you where the different metro stations are, what the different lines are for the subway, and how to get to other stations. They outline what platform you should be on, where you go, where the transfers are. And this is very, very crucial if you don't have the subway system memorized, which I don't think anyone has the entire subway system memorized here in Seoul, because it is massive. It is huge. There are, I think there's like 60, 70 stations in Seoul, tons of major stations, 9 lines going all the way from the coast in Incheon all the way up into the northern part of Seoul. It is expansive. So download the Kaka Metro app, and that's really going to give you a lot of information on where you need to go, what stations you need to go, where the transfers are, and it's just overall going to be much better for you if you download that, as opposed to you trying to look up, trying to figure out where to go, trying to use Neighbor Map at the same time. It's just a total pain. Specifically for taking the subway, go ahead and download Kaka Metro, and it's just going to be a much better experience for you as you navigate the very expansive subway system. I remember when I was first here, I was really struggling learning the subway system, where to go, how the lines transfer. It is very chaotic, and people do walk around here very aggressively, very fast, and the transfers are very quick. It's very easy for you to miss your subway transfers. So go ahead and download that app, and that's going to help you out a lot. And then number 5 for the apps you should download is Uber. And I'm going to suggest Uber over Kakao Taxi just for a few reasons. For people coming from the US with United States credit cards, you probably already used an app like Uber or Uber Eats, somewhere in the US at some point. So if you come to South Korea, Uber is legal here, and there are a lot of Uber cards, especially in Seoul. And even I was in other smaller cities, Uber seemed to function just fine. So go ahead, make sure you have Uber downloaded, and it should work perfectly fine here. Yes, a lot of the addresses are going to be in Korean, but it operates just the same as it does in the US. And a big benefit here is taxis are very, very inexpensive. We know in the US that to even get in an Uber taxi is going to run you $20+. I've never had an Uber, drive situation where it was anywhere less than $25. That just seems to be the bare minimum in the United States because it's such a big country. But here in South Korea, Uber drives of 20, 30 minutes are only, 14 or 15,000 Korean won, which comes out to about $10, $11. It is very, very affordable here just to go, a couple miles or a couple kilometers, or even go all the way into Seoul, like an hour-long Uber drive maybe will only cost you $20. So it is very affordable. I would go ahead and download that. If you want to check out Kakao Taxi, where there's a few more options, you can download that as well. But Uber will work and will suffice here, and there are plenty of Uber taxis around Seoul. I had never really ran into any problems unless it's like a Sunday afternoon and I'm in kind of a dead part of town. But even then, you can go into your Uber app and click Uber Speed Call. You just pay a couple thousand more Korean won, so like maybe $1 or $2 more, and it'll prioritize your car or your trip at the top of the list, and someone will come along and scoop it up because you're paying a little extra money. So go ahead, download that app as well to help you kind of travel around Seoul. If you're unable to take the metro stations or unable to take the subways or walk if possible, you can take an Uber, and it'll pretty much get you anywhere you need to go in South Korea or Seoul. So those are my top 5 apps for coming to South Korea, and I'm going to give you guys a bonus recommendation. This app is called Coupang. Now, what is Coupang? Coupang is essentially the Amazon plus DoorDash, Uber Eats of South Korea, and it really is best in the city of Seoul. So if you're staying in Seoul, Coupang is incredible. It is your shopping, food delivery source, and if you get their membership, all the deliveries are free. And what's awesome about South Korea is a lot of the restaurants are very inexpensive. A lot of the grocery products, if you eat Korean style food, is very expensive, and they'll deliver right to your door, sometimes in under 12 hours that same evening, but in most cases within 24 hours for 90 to 95% of items. It's only if you're bringing in some stuff that's usually imported or not commonly used that it'll take a couple days to deliver, but it'll deliver it fresh to your door, whether it's food, whether it's groceries. It's absolutely invaluable. If you don't know Korean, or you struggle with the Korean language, it's a little difficult to set up the app. So if you have a Korean friend, maybe have them help you enter the address correctly, have you put in your credit card correctly. I actually have a Korean card and bank account here, so that made it kind of easy to do that. But I don't know if other Westerners or people from the United States have struggled to set it up. But if you can get the app working, you can deliver food, deliver groceries at any time, and really it makes it super duper helpful while you're living here. So those are my app recommendations for South Korea. If you've lived here or traveled here before, do you have any other additional recommendations? I'm sure there's maybe some apps I missed, but I think if you download these core ones, you're gonna have a good trip. These are all relatively easy to set up, and overall just make your trip a much better experience. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a comment down below, like and subscribe to the channel to see more content. And anyways, I'll see you guys next time.